All right. Here we are. Take
Hello.
three. Take three. It's
Bonus
okay.
episode
Bonus episode,
again.
season 2. Very big bonus. In the know, in the 920. Let's try this again.
In the know, in the 920.
There we go.
Whew.
So many technical difficulties in showbiz.
Lots of troubleshooting.
Yeah, we're here. All right.
Woohoo.
So, we are here today.
We've got Pam Seidel.
I know. Do you know who she is?
She is the executive director of
Of?
the Fox Cities Convention and Visitor Bureau.
Good job.
Impressive.
I've heard that once or twice before.
Wait, for those of you listening, we had a couple of technical difficulties. We've started over a few times. Kelly forgot to hit the record button, which is really important in
Oops.
getting the content out.
And
you know?
then our machinery literally broke.
Yes. And so now we're here. And take 3, it seems to be going well. So Pam Seidel, Executive Director. Again, Fox Cities Convention and Visitors Bureau. That's a lot. I feel like
It's a
that's
mouthful.
Yes, that's just a lot. Just spelling the word bureau.
Yeah,
You know, I've been doing
right.
it now for
yeah.
22 years. I'm going
Yeah.
on 23, and I finally can spell it correctly
Right.
most times. Yes.
It's a lot. So earlier we were talking about just how much this whole area has grown.
right.
And how amazing it is. And I was mentioning how I went to college in Chicago. Otherwise, I grew up here. I went to college in Chicago. I moved back when I was 30, 31. And man, the changes that happened in that, I was gone for 10 years. I did a long college program slash.
You graduated, though.
I did. I graduated. And then I had a great real estate property management gig there. I planned to actually stay. But then when I had my son, I was like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
So that changes things. So anyways, just how much it's grown. And I was talking about how I grew up on Rogers Lane over in Darboy.
And bustling Darboy.
Bustling. Do you know what? Our dad's joke was always that we grew up in the ghetto of Darboy.
Yeah.
It is not a ghetto at all, but it is just funny because when we were first there, it was literally Rogers Lane, Randy's Lane. I told you I biked up to the Darboy Club to work. There was no Walmart. It was open fields. It was all this just open terrain.
We had a ravine behind the house
Yes.
that's fully developed now.
And we had a deer farm back there. That was when the deer farm
was a deer farm.
deer were constantly running through the deer farm. But anyways, everybody started building there. And not, now we're in real estate and we see some crazy houses sometimes, big, big, big mansions. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. But to us at the time growing up, the houses that they were building in Darboy were like, whoa, compared to our little ranch on Rogers Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ghettos of Darboy, they
Yes.
moved beyond the ghettos of Darboy.
Exactly.
I was saying too, when I started my career here in the Fox Cities some 30 years ago, I would have to go to WIR. And
Yes.
it felt like you were going out in the country.
Yes.
You were traveling. It was a long way away.
Right.
And now we've overrun WIR. We're building
Exactly.
beyond there.
Yes.
So just seeing this area, grow and develop and
so much.
Yeah.
from my perspective, because that's the product I sell.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
If you look at a map now, it's like, who built the racetrack in the middle of a suburb?
Exactly. Didn't all used to be that
So
way, my
true.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I spent that was something that we did a lot in the summers when I was a kid, was we would go to the races
One
on
of the only things out here.
Thursday nights.
Yep,
Thursday
yep,
night races. It was fun. So Pam, I feel like there's this little event coming up, just a small little thing. Not many people have heard of it. So we're going to really just, debut it here today, right? It's the NFL Draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, in case you haven't heard.
Right.
I mean, I know it hasn't really been talked about
Yeah.
much around the area. For the
Right
last-
now. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's all of a sudden it's really here, and it does seem
Sure.
for me it's been such a long journey. We were contacted by our friends at Discover Green Bay, who do what we do up in Green
Sure.
Bay, about 3 years ago.
Okay.
When they were putting together the bid, because Green Bay is such a smallest NFL market.
Yeah.
Right.
Such a small market. They knew they'd have to kind of go. If you look at it from the standpoint of if you're in Detroit or New York City,
Yes.
we would be a suburb You know, when you
Right.
look at that
Yeah.
volume. And so
Right.
they knew they needed the hotel rooms and the airlift for Appleton International Airport to really, you know, had that capacity. So
Sure.
I think I did, because there were multiple years they bid on, and then they bid on some more. So I think I did like 5 letters of support, you know, for
Sure.
for them. Yes, we're happy to have the draft. And when they called and they said they got it, I'm like, what, really?
Like, what?
Oh no, really? Okay.
You're like, great. Okay,
So
now
what
the
is-
real work
so
begins.
now
right?
what happens?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So yeah, and then we we went through all the things, and you always like, because it's still April in Wisconsin, and you're
Right.
just like.
Yeah, hit or miss.
And I happened to be at the event when they announced it, and Roger Goodell said, "Oh, and I hope it snows like the ice." And we all went, "Oh,
No.
Roger.
No, Roger.
no, Roger,
No.
because you don't understand what an April snowfall is like in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just miserable.
Massive, big blobs of ice and not. Yeah, no snow. So it looks like the weather's going to be awesome,
Good.
which is great. And I think it's such a great PR opportunity for Green Bay, but also for the surrounding communities to, kind of show off the great area we have here
Yes.
in Northeast Wisconsin, and to share that with some people who may never have come here,
Sure.
aside from, hey, they're coming for the draft. And Lambeau
Yeah.
Field in itself is a destination.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a bucket list destination. So, but we're happy to be welcoming those visitors here. We still do. Tell your friends if you live in the area. We still have plenty of hotel rooms available in the Fox
Okay.
cities.
So there's plenty of hotel rooms available. Good to know, because I feel like the perception is like there's nothing to be found
Right.
for miles.
Right. There is that perception,
Yes.
and everyone I talk to locally, what do you mean? And so there are rooms available, and I say this just like I do during EIA when EIA is down in Oshkosh. It's like you may not want to pay that rate, but there are rooms available,
Sure.
and call me, I can help you find them.
Sure.
So we've got that, and some of the things that we've been doing, not being where the event is. I think you have to be realistic in your expectations, but we're playing the supporting cast role.
Yes.
And that's fine. That's great.
Right.
There's lots of friends, flying into our airport on Wednesday. We're doing some shuttle buses there to the local hotels to make sure people get moved around the area. We're doing shuttles from Fox River Mall. It's a park and ride,
Okay.
Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
And we're doing 3 time departures, noon, 2, and 4 p.m.
Noon, 2, and 4 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, Fox River Mall.
Right, but no, you have to reserve in advance. They can go to foxcities.org, which is our
Okay.
website, and you have to make a reservation. 'Cause
Okay.
we want to make sure we have a seat on the bus for you.
Sure.
And you also get, it's a round trip, $60. So, and then you pick your time back, 9:30,
Sure.
11, and 12:30 a.m. Which,
Woo!
yeah, no,
Goodness.
I'll be at home in bed in my Jemmy Jims. But some people think that 12:30 is
Sure. So, okay, so that's really cool. So now it's, you guys, you really have to help me out. I've seen like
Yeah.
bits and pieces of the draft on
Yeah,
TV.
Kelly, explain the draft.
No.
to us. How does this work?
No. I want to understand like where is it at? But let's get to the basics for all those out there. Where is it actually occurring? What are the things like if I still want to go, I can go. It sounds like
Yes,
tell me everything.
yes,
Tell me
yes.
everything.
Well, it's by the football stadium in Green Bay that
Okay.
they call Lambeau Field.
Okay, yes, perfect.
So
perfect.
the stage is kind of to the far end of, and it from what I was actually at a meeting where one of the gentlemen who puts it together said we wanted the stage so that a lot of the shots are when you look out over the crowd. He calls
Okay.
it the money shot. That Lambeau is actually behind them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So they're looking.
sure.
If you're standing on the stage, you're looking at Lambeau Field.
Sure.
Lambeau is not behind the stage.
Right.
So that's kind of the setting. It's
Okay.
the whole Titletown district.
Okay.
So it really goes down, encompasses that whole area with Aaron's Hill and things. And
Sure.
it's going to be, it's a festival.
Absolutely.
Right? There's going to be food and bands and
Right.
all kinds of other things
That's
than
so cool.
just what, picking
Right.
players.
Right.
Right.
It's going to be a spectacle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, if it was just the picking players, that would be
be-
super boring.
Yes. That would be watching paint dry. 'Cause
So-
that's just, there's a lot of entertainment to fill the gaps.
Sure.
For Kelly and for I guess anybody else that doesn't know, the way that the draft works is, especially in the first couple rounds, it takes a while.
Okay.
Each team has 15 minutes to make their pick.
Oh,
So it's
they don't hold on. They don't choose.
No.
Hold on. They
They
don't
may-
choose the stuff ahead of time?
no, they make the picks live because you don't know who everybody else is going to pick.
Oh. Okay.
So
That's why it makes for horrible TV. When I
Yeah.
really think about it, because it's just sort of like
Sure.
the Packers are out next to the thing, and then you see a
Right.
group of guys in
Yeah.
a room doing this with pages, and
Right.
so
You're like,
so
what's
it'll
actually
be
happening?
the
Okay.
analysts, and they'll talk about, oh yeah, this guy, he was a stud over at LSU, and they'll show game
Gotcha.
film of him for 10 minutes, and
Okay.
that's why they have all the other things going on.
Yeah.
So you can have
Okay.
some fun to do.
Interesting. Okay.
So-
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
oh Lord, we're dropping things.
so if you're
just been a
there,
day.
in the crowd just for watching the picks,
Sure.
yeah, it would just be like, oh cool, and then 15 minutes go by, and
I see.
here's Roger
Okay.
Goodell again. Also, the tradition is that, at least especially for the first round of the draft, everybody boos Commissioner Roger Goodell as he comes out to read the picks.
Yes.
Oh, why?
It's just a thing people do now.
Oh,
It used to be because people were displeased or whatever, but now
Sure.
people just do it.
okay.
he
Now, do a lot of the current players attend this?
Not really.
No.
They're usually at home with their families.
Okay.
And they might text the new guy, "Hey, congrats on being on the team," or
Got
whatever.
it. So I'm not going to see like a bunch of current,
I doubt it. I mean, there is the
Players.
possibility.
maybe, but
But-
not really. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I think there are some ancillary events going on around the draft in Green Bay specifically, where some
Sure.
of the Packers may be doing. I think there's some signing events.
Yeah, there are.
There's the big thing Wednesday night. That's a big food event where they're
Oh.
showcasing the Wisconsin Supper
Oh,
Club.
that's cool.
And it's a fundraiser. A lot of the money
Sure.
will go back to providing food service, school lunches in.
Oh, I love
for
that.
kids who need it. So
Yes.
some neat things like that. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
at the draft, you're not going to be walking around the draft and run into.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
That's still where I'm at. Aaron Rodgers.
Keep going.
You're almost there.
What?
She's almost
Why
there.
can I not think of the current quarterback, you guys? Oh yeah, Jordan Love.
There you
Duh. It took me a second.
don't
Sorry,
think-
Jordan Love.
I don't think Jordan Love will be just wandering around. Maybe you never
Yeah.
know.
You never know.
I mean, if I was making over $100 million, I wouldn't be just wandering around festivals with like
Yeah.
100,000 people.
Oh, I think he's down to earth, people. Seems that way.
He seems pretty down to earth.
Not that I would be afraid of people. It's just
He's got a lot. He's got
other
things to do.
He's got
Like,
things
yeah.
to do.
Things to do.
Things to do.
Well, this sounds like it's going to be a great event, though. So again, Thursday, Friday, people can drive over to Fox River Mall,
Right.
park, but they need to go.
They need to go to foxcities.org
Yes,
first.
and
make
register.
a reservation.
Yep.
And really, this is helping in a couple of ways. One, just safety, right?
Sure.
Friends. And plus, the traffic up in Green Bay, they've got roads
Yeah.
closed. It's not going to be the same as a game day because
Yeah.
a lot of the roads and the infrastructure, they had to close down. So
Sure.
parking is going to be a bit of a thing up there. And they're doing shuttles too. I mean, you may be kind of forced to park like out at NWTC and then shuttled in. So
Okay.
why not just take a shuttle
Yeah.
from here, go up? So for
Right.
your safety, you may want to have a few adult beverages.
Right.
Let's keep everybody safe. Keep the traffic out of Green Bay. Get on a shuttle. Let us do the driving. But yes, reserve in advance at foxcities.org.
Okay. I love that.
And we got plenty of seats on the bus at this point in time. So
Okay.
cool.
I'm kind of thinking about bringing Jay now, my son. He would love it.
it would be
He would.
It would be a spectacle.
He is a sports fanatic. Like, he loves to watch all the
Well, 'cause
sports.
even if you think, if let's say that each team gets one chance to host the NFL draft again in order, you would expect it to be 32 years.
That's what
before
I'm
it comes
saying.
back.
Right.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
doesn't
is
happen.
This is not going to,
Yeah, this doesn't happen every day.
No. So just to say that he got
Right.
to be there, and if he's
Yeah.
of an age where he'll remember,
He will.
He'll
That'd
be
really
older
cool.
than you are now the next time it comes back.
Yeah. Can people be older than me? Okay, so that is super, super cool. Anything else that we want to talk about with the draft? How many people are expected, roughly?
Yeah, give us the exact number.
No.
yeah, it's always an estimate because the beauty of the draft, unlike a lot of unlike the Super Bowl or even a Packer game, the draft is free to attend.
Yes.
You download the NFL One Pass app on your phone.
Sure.
It's called NFL One Pass, and on there you request your ticket, and that's really just so they can, track that people in, people out. There,
Okay.
But Detroit had about 250,000 people.
Okay, that's a lot of
A
people.
lot of people. It's going to be very people-y up there. So if you're not into people-y, you might not want to go. But I also have, so you get the NFL One Pass, just say, to let them know you're coming.
Sure.
It's free to attend, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Saturday is also because Saturday. By the time you get to Saturday, your hardcore
Right.
football going people are kind of like, yeah, don't want to see it
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Real family oriented, lots of fun.
Sure.
With families and kids to just go up and enjoy.
Sure.
Some entertainment.
Very cool. I love that whole area. I love the Titletown district, and just it's really fun there.
It is really cool.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I mean, I think this is gonna be great, and like you said, it's probably once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of people here in the 920, and it's free.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Everybody should be there.
And then we're going to invite all those visitors who are staying here in the Fox Cities back.
Okay.
Come show them how great the Fox Cities is too.
Yeah.
Do we want them all to live here?
We do.
Okay.
Well, I like them to
Well,
come.
you know what? I'm fine. We'll sell.
You sell them a home.
We all benefit from this. I'll sell them
As
houses.
I said,
Yes.
everybody's a visitor the first time. So my goal
true.
is to get people to visit, come here, visit, stay in a hotel, and go home.
Okay.
You know, then you've got the chamber who wants them to come and buy a house, start a business. So we can
Sure.
all work together
That's a
in
good
this.
point. This
Yeah.
we really can, I
But
like
where we
this.
intersected that quality of place, you know, that understanding.
Sure.
There's all the wonderful amenities that we have here in the
Mm-hmm.
Fox Cities for people that create a great place to live, a great place to visit, a great place to buy a house, a great
Right.
place to start a business.
It really is a great place. It really, really is. In fact, right before we did this podcast, I was at Author's Kitchen. I love that place so much. And just being downtown, it's just a fun, downtown College Ave is just a fun vibe.
We are so spoiled. So at the CVB, we represent Kokona down to Neenah.
Okay.
And over to Hortonville, down that 76 corridor, and then around the lake to the top over to Sherwood.
Okay.
We promote the entire region for tourism, and we have just so many unique things. And one of the things that I, get to really constantly like brag about and pinch myself that I've got so
Sure.
many thriving downtowns.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
downtown Neenah.
I was just
hello,
gonna say.
like Hallmark movie.
I was just gonna say. In fact, we had our team client appreciation event in winter at the
The skating.
skating at the plaza.
There you go.
We had a Santa came, all the things, and it was like straight out of a Hallmark movie.
We had like light snowfall. It was beautiful.
It was
Loved
so
it.
cute. But that whole downtown, oh, it's
Yeah.
the cutest.
It is. It's just amazing, but it's one right up, and everybody's got their unique personality. Downtown Appleton has that vibe and that buzz,
Yes.
and it's urban, and it's
Right.
got performing arts and
Yes.
all the things, and then downtown Neenah's got that quaint hometowny.
Yes.
But we've got some great up and comers like Menasha.
Menasha
has
has-
done so many things. In that
I
downtown.
give them
Kudos,
so
kudos,
much
kudos.
credit. I know.
Right.
They've done an amazing job.
When I started at the CVB 20 some years ago, they were my diamond in the rough, and they
Sure.
they have nailed it. Go to the Rusted Roost for dinner. That is our only rooftop bar in the Fox Cities.
And it's adorable.
Yeah.
That restaurant is so stinking cute. The food is amazing. Yeah, rooftop, all the things. I agree. I love everything that Menasha has done.
They have done such work, but everybody's just really kind of Little Shoot's done some great things too. They got the windmill and built around the plaza, so
Yes.
it's really such a wonderful area, and it's really quite frankly easy to promote for tourism because there's so many unique amenities and beautiful natural attractions. So
So true. So true. It's a great place to raise a family.
it is
Right?
It is. We are exceedingly family friendly,
Yes.
and that's one of that's one of kind of our four pillars. We kind of leverage family friendly shopping.
I like that as a pillar.
Yeah, shopping's a great film. Music,
Sure.
kind of
Oh, yeah.
anchored by.
Oh my gosh.
Started by Lawrence University and its rich history with music, but then
Right.
anchored by Mile of Music,
Yeah.
and what we've done with Mile of Music, and just really focusing on all the great live music we have and the cultural aspects of it. Everything from the Performing Arts Center, to the local bars that have great local.
For sure.
Yeah, 313 Dodge is
Yes.
amazing.
Oh my
Z54,
gosh.
the Gibson Music Hall. We've
Yes.
got all these great places, and I think that's really an area where, from a tourism standpoint, we can really leverage that and continue
Absolutely.
to grow and make that attractive. But all those things that are great for visitors are also great for residents and for people to come and buy a house and live here too.
Yeah, and all
I
those
agree.
the summertime festivals like the Cheese Fest, and Beaver
Yes.
Fest, and
I always go
etc.
to Art in the like art in the park and just all the things. I love it so much. I love it. How many people roughly do you get for Mile of Music?
Mile of Music, and it's funny, we just met with them, and what they're really trying to do is, again, another free event where it's kind of hard to do the head count.
gauge, right.
But it's well upwards of 100,000 people, I would say,
figured.
throughout the
Yeah.
course of the 4 days. And that is one of the events where we have really seen a lot of, it's a tourism generating event.
Yes.
Many communities have, especially in Wisconsin, we have great community events, but they're not always bringing in people from the outside, right? It's a local community event. Mile of Music, people are definitely coming to the Fox Cities, finding out about the Fox Cities, and coming here specifically for that event. It has really been an attraction for tourism, and we've really enjoyed working with them and kind of growing that identity as a great place for live music.
Sure. It seems like it. I mean, I think it's such a cool, unique event.
Yeah.
And one of the things that it is, their story is so different that they do all the artist care things. So if you're an artist coming to Milo Music, you can have dental checkups. They'll do health checkups.
That's
They'll
awesome.
do, and they care for the artists.
Really?
They truly
love
do.
that.
Yes, they do. Because
really
a lot of
cool.
artists, they're sole business people, right? They
Right.
don't have insurance sometimes. They don't have all the things that they can get working for a big company. So Milo Music provides that for them,
Sure.
which is really, really unique. And the artists love coming to Appleton.
I've heard that from a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
I love that.
we've leveraged that from the CBB
Sure.
standpoint, where you have someone who lives in Nashville or someone who lives in
Yes.
Seattle, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh my gosh,
We like Appleton.
I played music in this little town called Appleton, Wisconsin, and it just
And they liked it.
wonderful. I
love
best
that.
best salespeople for tourism ever are the people
That's awesome.
who come here,
Sure.
and I get the same response because it's like, I never knew. I'm just blown away at
Right.
everything you have.
Right.
And I think we need to appreciate that as people who live here. Like, this is a great place to live.
1000%.
And how lucky we are. And most of the time we never really ever.
No, you're so right. It's so true. Like the place that you live, you don't always. I've been really trying to do that a lot lately because I'll travel and I'll go somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. And I have a couple of those, and that's great. But sometimes you don't it's easy to forget or overlook that we have a lot of that right here. Right here in our backyard.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we don't take advantage of some of it. Some of the fun things to see.
No.
too, so.
Now, if we could just work with Mother Nature on the snow factor, I would never need to become a snowbird as I get older, but I might have to. I think what I want to do, because I love this area, absolutely, but I'm going to have to take a couple month hiatus in the snow.
Well, sometimes then you come back and appreciate it more, right?
Absolutely. Yes. You're absolutely right. So what kind of other things does the Fox Cities Convention and Visitors Bureau do?
We kind of look at our tourism in three buckets, I would say. The leisure travel, which is what we've been talking about, all the great things to see and do, all the
Sure.
great attractions. We do a lot with meetings and conventions.
Okay.
So Fox Cities Exhibition Center in downtown Appleton, attached to the Hilton Appleton Paper Valley.
Beautiful.
Lovely facility, giving us a great opportunity to bring in larger groups to the. So we have staff really focused on bringing those, and there is a convention group for everything. I mean, we have had the paperweight collectors. We have had the
love
National
that.
Button Society, and that's the button, like the button on your shirt. You collect buttons.
I love it.
Part of that is just, there's a lot of great state associations. There's the
Sure.
Realtors Association.
Right.
There's, all those, and they rotate throughout the state, and we have
Sure.
people who work with those groups. And one of the things we really like to do, we kind of have a little internal campaign that we call Bring It Home, where if you're a member of a professional organization, and you've gone probably to other places around the state with your convention, my staff is here to help you. If you want to host it here in the Fox Cities and show off the Fox Cities, we do all the work for you and you take all the credit. So there you go. Perfect. Come see us. We're happy to
Exactly.
help.
Perfect.
Bring those convention groups to the Fox Cities. The other thing, that third bucket, is then sports tourism, which is
Okay.
huge here.
Sure.
We are a great destination. We have really, really come a long way in the last 10, 20 years in, really our sports tourism. And most of our sports tourism is youth sports.
Okay.
So if anybody has children who play sports and they get into that age of the traveling sports team.
Oh, yes. We're there right now. I have a
Yes.
12 and a 9-year-old.
Oh yeah, and then you're never home, and
Correct.
you're always staying in a hotel. And
Yes.
yeah, we love those people.
I was just at the Dells last weekend. Uh-huh.
I think Kelly's kids are at the point where I've caught myself going, how are you traveling again? Weren't you just gone like 3 times in a row?
Correct.
So, and that is so we have found that youth sports tournament, and most of the groups we work with are youth 11 to 17. That's one thing mom and dad aren't going to give up. Even when things got a little rocky in 2007, 2008, or during the pandemic, they give up the family vacation, but
we're not giving up for the kids stuff. Exactly.
And we have some lovely facilities, starting with the Community First Champion Center in Grand Chute, beautiful indoor facility.
Yes.
And that facility, as well as the exhibition center, this is kind of like what tourism can do for your economy.
Sure.
Both of those facilities, roughly $30 million construction.
Wow.
All paid for with room tax dollars, paid for by visitors, paid for by the Kellys of the world who go to
I
Wisconsin Dells
love it.
in the hotels.
Sure.
But what they also do is create an amenity for the locals. So
Sure.
right, so if your kids have ever played at the Champion Center,
Yes.
that facility was built with visitor money, not
Sure.
your money.
Sure.
And so, but it's also created a lovely local amenity during the
Right.
week for the multiple traveling sports teams and club
Yes.
sports that we have here in the Fox Cities.
Sure.
And that's kind of the higher value of tourism for people, because especially in a market like this, we're not the Dells, we're not Door County. You don't see the tourism as much. People, I have a lot of locals that go, oh, no one would want to come here. I'm like, oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they
they
do.
do.
And there's and here's why. And also here's what those tourists have done for your quality of life.
Right.
The CVB, we have what we call our Tourism Development Grant Fund. And it's really what I call my product development fund. So we take a portion of the room tax that the CVB receives for our funding. We put it in the grant fund, and then we reinvest it back into the community for community projects to make our tourism product better.
Okay.
So everything from the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center, new exhibits at the History Museum, the new Trump Museum of Art, the Loop the Lake Trail, the Paper Trail, the Nelson Heritage Crossing up here in Kimberly and Kokona, the Little Chute Windmill.
Sure.
We have reinvested those room tax dollars paid for by people who don't live here to make our quality of place much better.
I love that.
And that's really the value of tourism
Sure.
for your residents. That
Sure.
they can then benefit from
Right.
that money that is spent.
Yeah. So that's why things like the draft can be so amazing.
Because the money those visitors are going to invest in our community is going to stay here.
Right.
And we're going to make our community better with it.
Right. Yeah. That's so cool. I love it. So, I mean, I've learned so much because I'm going to be honest. This is another one of those things in my life where it's like, I've heard the name. I've heard, all about, well, not all about, I've learned a lot today, but I've heard the name, but I've never really stopped and thought about like, well, what do they do?
Yeah.
What do
They
they
make travel brochures or something.
do?
I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
We're here for you that way too. If you want
Sure.
to come in and get your Dells and your Door County Guide, come to the Visitor Center,
Sure.
come see us.
Sure.
But we love actually serving our local community too and telling the stories that we just told.
Sure.
Also, you get a number of people, the grandparents. Oh my gosh, I've got the grandkids in town for a week. What do I do with them? Come
Yes.
see me. I'll
Yes.
help you set up
Yeah.
the grandkids.
You're like, we'll
We'll
get
you to the
things.
building for kids, and we'll get you
Yes.
crayfishing out at Thousand Islands. If
Ooh.
you've never done that with the kids,
Oh,
one of the
is-
best
Ooh,
kept
that
secrets.
sounds like fun.
That is
I've
so
never done
in the
that.
summer
Okay.
at Thousand Islands. These are sort of Pam's inside secrets.
I love.
that you're
Here we go.
that you
Pam's
lo-
inside secrets.
that you locals never take advantage of. Go to Thousand Islands.
Okay.
We'll give you a little bucket. Usually August when the river's a little low.
Sure.
They'll give you a bucket and a net. And you wade out in the river because it's very shallow, and you're literally on the rocks in the river.
Sure.
And you just kind of take the net in
Yep.
between the rocks, and there's tons of crayfish. And if you have little ones,
That's
it's
cool.
like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
They just
would
think
be
it is the
fascinated with that.
coolest thing. Or you go out there in the spring and watch the goats eat all the buckthorn. It's awesome.
Right.
Kids love it.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Like you said, there are so many things. And that's another thing that I love about doing this podcast, because we're constantly hearing about lots of different cool things and lots of free or very inexpensive
Yes,
things
absolutely.
that you can do in the Fox cities. And it's just, it really like, it's heartwarming how many people volunteer to make different things happen too.
It is
right.
It
It's
truly
pretty
is.
great.
It truly is, and we just have such a family friendly community, and I think the community amenities that our local municipalities have developed for their residents are just beyond compare.
Yes.
And we're very, very lucky that all these things exist for us and for our families.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, this has been so great. Thank you so much for all the info. I feel like now I'm like excited about the draft. It's just now all of a sudden I'm like, well, now I got to go look this up and I got to get my pass and I got to book my shuttle. And
Yeah, at a minimum, there'll be lots of great music and lots of great food, and then there'll be also some football stuff going on the side.
a little side of football, a side of football. See, that's what I like. I like a side of football. But I think I would probably be a hero in my kid's mind. So
If you really want to blow him away, so Thursday night, Packers have pick number 23.
okay.
Then Friday, we've got 54 and 87.
Oh wow.
You know those three numbers?
he's got
It'll blow
this-
his mind.
Wow.
It's like a walking encyclopedia.
I
of
know. And my kid is the exact same as him. He knows, again, like every player, every name, everything. So that I will write those down after this. I'll take notes. Sometimes he watches this. Jay, if you're watching, ignore this
Sometimes
part. I'm cool. Your mom is cool, okay? No, but this was really cool. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for
And
having me.
absolutely. And I just really hope, we just continue to just promote our area and the tourism and just all the amazing things that are going on in this community, because it really is a great place. It's a great place to visit. It's a great place to live.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Pam. Thank you for your
having
time.
me.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's take it out with Tori's ending.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
I know nothing.
Well, yeah, so it's funny. This seems to have been like such a long journey, because I think I got my first email from.
I never hit record. See, these are the things that I do. Hey, at least I looked now.
Yeah, I can't see the light from here.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna make it a fun blooper for Kylie. Hi, Kylie.
Sorry about that, Pam. Luckily, only 5 minutes had eclipsed. Sorry. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh!
Okay.
We're gonna start this one over.
Okay.
Darn it! And we are live with another podcast.
Hello.
In the Know in the 920.
Bonus episode.
Season 2 bonus episode. Let's just get right into it.
Whoa.
Well, that was in.
No.
What is happening? What is actually happening right now? Okay. Stop. What is going on with technology?
Yes, for sure we're gonna stop.
Wow.
Okay, we're saving that one just because it's funny.
Try pressing it once.
So here, what if we do? Does that get like a
In the Know in the 920.
Why is that still just looping?
I don't know.
In the Know in the 920.
Now did it work?
Yeah.
In the Know in the
I don't know. I think the button was stuck or something.
That was weird. Cut. Take 3. Okay, here we go.
Mustard.